Hey, thank you for joining us on Pathetic, the podcast, here for another week. It always seems that we never run out of topics. Here in New York, there's always something going on that we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss a lot of stuff tonight. Also, before I begin, please go to our link tree, check out our socials, send us an email, like and subscribe, whether you're listening on whatever podcast platform you listen on or you're watching on YouTube. I know a lot of you just can't wait to see our beautiful faces on YouTube, but a lot of you listen. But guys, how we doing? Mikey, how are you today? You look very festive.
Yes, we are fully festive here at the Kalanya household. We have the tree up. We have the decorations out. I got the bowl of Hershey Kisses and the Reese's peanut butter cups that are all Christmas colored. So we are fully in the Christmas season. Jeff, how we doing?
Well, we're not very festive decorative wise in my household, but I'm in the festive mood. There's no question. I'll be going back to Jersey. I think I'm coming back for about a week and a half or so, and work from Jersey, just to spend as much time with the family as I possibly can. And yeah, it's the Christmas spirit. I'm ready to go, and I'm excited.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you, Jeff. I know everybody's coming to my house on the 27th.
Yeah.
And that is going to be right up Mike's alley because it's going to have the entire gang, which Mike experienced a couple of weeks ago. And so you'll be, although Mike, you didn't get the full gang. You didn't get Jeff's side of the family gang. You only got my craziness. So
Yeah.
wait till they all get together. That's
we gotta get on the next cruise when I'm not in across the pond in England. I have to get on one of these family cruises with you guys and really get after it. So
yeah,
that would
you
be
really
awesome.
Experienced the crazy there. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. That I'm gonna be contributing to the crazy on that cruise.
You might get kicked off.
Yeah.
Well, not happen. Literally, but we'll be banned from cruises after that.
We'll be cruise banned. That's funny. Oh boy. So we do have a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of stuff went down this week in New York sports, pretty much with the Mets. If you're a Met fan today, I don't know how you're feeling. I'm a huge Met fan, as everyone knows, and I'm confused. I don't know what David Stearns' plan is. I don't agree with all the people that are screaming at him and yelling at him that, what are you doing? We've been sold a bill of goods. Here's what I can tell you. Shut your mouth. You've got an owner that's not afraid to spend money. Whenever you want to talk about him not spending money this year, he bought Soto for $750 million. Okay. And they're not afraid to pick up guys and then dump them. So I think that there's a plan. And listen, as I said to Jeff before the show started, they didn't win anything with these guys yet. And now it's coming out that the clubhouse is a mess. I think last year's David Stearns acquiesced to the will of Cohen to sign Pete Alonso when he really didn't want him. He just doesn't fit what he wants in that position. And he's not going to pay a DH $155 million for 5 years. I thought the Kyle Schwarber deal, listen, I think the Phillies are going to regret that in a few years. And I love Pete Alonso, but if you're just going to be a DH, probably after this next year with the Mets, he would just be a DH. And that's a lot of money to give to a DH. And I mean, a lot of teams are stuck with bad contracts. And even though we have the ability to dump people, I mean, don't be stupid. And if you have a plan, let's go with the plan. Stearns did a great job in Milwaukee. And everybody's saying, oh, he's a small town GM. Just stop it. Let him finish what he's doing. It's almost like the movie Draft Day when the owner came in and he was going to fire him. He said, let me do my job. If you want to fire me at the end of the night, you fire me. But let me finish my job. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, the amount of money that you were going to get to have to pay Pete Alonso, I think as you said, in a couple of years, diminishing returns at DH. Eventually, Juan Soto is going to be your full-time DH after a year or two. So it's going to be hard to find a spot for Pete Alonso. I'm glad he went to, or for the Met fan, I think you're glad he went to the American League East and not to, Atlanta or, a team like that where you're going to be dealing with him every single week. You only deal with him for, a couple of games a year probably. It's going to be in the Yankees thorn for a while. He's going to love coming to Yankee Stadium for those 8 or 10 games that they end up going there. But, this is not an unlimited source of money. And it's also not something where they have to take the offer from the Mets. You saw what Edwin Diaz did. I'm sure the Mets could have offered him more money. He wanted to go to the Dodgers. So it's hard to, sit there and say that they couldn't get these guys because they were being too cheap and this and that. You have to give them the opportunity to build a team the way they want to and really have their limits in terms of what they want to pay these guys. So, it's unfortunate if you love, if you have your Pete Alonso jerseys, you thought that was going to be a jersey that would be great. And I still think you could wear it. I still think you could wear a Pete Alonso jersey because, he wanted to stay here, but, they just weren't willing to go to the 5 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think confused is the right word, Uncle Ted. The first word you use, because I think as a Met fan, you kind of have to be confused. I understand the Met fan that's pissed because I'm putting myself in your shoes, and I'm not saying this to be a jerk. I think this was a horrifying couple of days for the Mets. You lost the best closer in the game, and replacing a closer is damn near impossible, particularly at an Edwin Diaz level. And you lost a premier power hitter who was the best player on your team last year. So there's no sugarcoating how bad the last couple of days were. But look, this obviously is to be determined with David Stearns because now, he deserves the opportunity to try to rebuild this team. I'm personally, you guys know this, I'm not a fan of David Stearns at all. I'm not saying he completely doesn't know what he's doing, but, Uncle Ted, you said it when we were talking before the show, how he reminds you of Cashman. I'm like, what do you mean? And you brought up a good point. He thinks he knows what he's doing a little too much, maybe, right? And he thinks he's smarter than everybody. And maybe
he's
that's
the smartest
the case.
guy in the room.
Smartest guy in the room, right? So, for me, I do want to talk about how ridiculous it is to not pay Pete for 5 or dare I say 6 years, right? There's this weird misconception about Pete that he's going to break down in a couple of years. And I think it's a visual thing because he's not, Giancarlo Stanton, right? He's kind of like the frat boy with the beer belly or whatever. But you look back at the last 4 years, this is a guy that played 162, 162, 154, 160. This guy doesn't miss games. He's tough, right? He's like a brick you-know-what house, right? So I don't – look, yeah, he may break down the last couple of years of the contract, but I think if you sign him for, let's say, even, again, 6 years, you get 3 or 4 really, really good years of Pete. And, I'm surprised they didn't get him back. Edwin Diaz, for some reason, I'm not. I don't know why. I just had a feeling that was going to happen. But I guess, look, yes, they can fix this and they can rebuild this team. And, hey, maybe it'll be better. Who knows? But David Stearns just made his job twice as hard, losing 2 very, very, really great players, right? So he's got his work cut out for him. Again, I am not on board with losing Pete at all. I think they should have done anything they could to keep him. But, listen, time will tell and we'll see what he does.
I will give him 100% pass on Edwin Diaz.
I agree.
And the reason for that is because Diaz never went. The Mets told him when they offered him $66 million out of the gate, this is a fluid number.
Yeah.
And he never went back. And like Boomer Esiason said, when he was offered $69 million, the Dodgers might have told him, if you walk out of this room, we're pulling the offer.
Mm-hmm.
So he just decided, I'm gonna do this, and he wanted to be with the Dodgers. So I'm gonna give him a pass on that. The Pete thing. Yeah, you're right. What would it have cost to give him the 5 years? I kind of got the feeling that Pete wanted to leave. I think he loves New York. He said all the right things. but I think that he really wanted to. I think he was tired of fighting back and forth for money. And I think he also, and this is an important thing, I think he wanted to be loved. He wanted to be wanted. And the Orioles wanted him. And it's a sad day for me. I love Pete Alonso. I do. He really became a true New Yorker.
Mm-hmm.
He, all the work he did off the field. But, you can't spend your whole career in one spot. It just doesn't happen. It's rare when it does. And
yeah, it's not out of the realm. Sorry, Mike. It's not out of the realm of impossibility that he didn't want to be here. I think he did. I think the fans, even if the team played the game with him, right? Like the fans loved him, and he was beloved. He was beloved here. But I think it's more David Stearns didn't want him, right? We saw signs of this for quite some time now, which to me makes absolutely no sense. You really, to me, you needed him. You really did for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I mean, like I said, David Stearns is going to have the opportunity. I do agree with you, Uncle Teddy. I don't think you can put the Edwin Diaz situation on him. When the guy doesn't come back with a counter, it's like, we're all in sales, right? If somebody doesn't come back to you with the offer and they take another deal, there's nothing you can do, right? It happened, right?
Exactly.
So I can't put that on him. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, the harder part is once you saw that Kyle Schwarber got signed, that you almost had to get Alonso at that point because you're never going to be able to find someone to replace those numbers other than Schwarber that's out there in free agency in terms of the number of home runs and RBIs that Alonso does. But that was not the problem with this team last year. This team hit enough, even without Alonso, to do well. Their problem has been their starting pitching, and that's really where they have to address a lot of their needs, because I don't care who you have. You could put, the whole Dodger lineup out there and every, the entire All-Star team, and if you have that same pitching staff you got out there last year, it's not going to matter. You're going to lose these games 11-10 or 11-9. So that's really where you got to focus, and I think that's really where David Stearns is really going in. He's like, I would love Pete to come back, but I really have to fix this pitching staff because we're going absolutely nowhere if Kodai Senga is my ace and we're dealing with all of this stuff with these guys who can only pitch 4 innings at a time.
Yeah,
you're never gonna win with that. So that's, I think, where Stearns is coming from. Obviously, I think the fan base is upset, but Stearns has got to follow through now and really fix this pitching staff, because that's ultimately what's going to happen, because you're going to have Juan Soto doing his thing. You're going to have Lindor doing his thing. That should be enough right there between those two guys to really carry the lineup. One of them's going to be good. One of them's going to be off. That's usually how it goes. But if you have one or two guys carrying the lineup enough and you have a pitching staff that's actually good, this team should be just fine. So I think that's where you got to look at it to try to fix.
If we could add a Cody Bellinger and a Wilson Contreras, I think we'll be okay going forward if he fixes the pitching. The other thing is, I do want to see Senga gone. Here's why. When he's on, he's pretty spectacular. But here's another guy that when he's 100% healthy and he gives you that whole, through his translator, I am healthy, but there's something I'm not feeling. He gives you all of that kind of bull crap. I mean, enough of that. Enough.
Yeah.
I feel healthy, but maybe I'm going to take another week. Let's just stop, please. Yeah. And I don't want anything to do with the Japanese first baseman. Okay, I don't want any. They say like his batting average for pitches that are under 93 miles an hour is like 0.083. No, I don't want any part of that. None of that.
No. And I'll tell you brought up Cody Bellinger. This is a bad day for the Yankees too, because the Mets are getting him. And I had a bad feeling it was going to happen anyway, even if you kept Pete and Edwin. But he's a perfect fit for the Mets. And I think Steve Cohen's going to go very, very hard for Cody Bellinger. I pray it doesn't happen, because I think that's my number one thing the Yankees have to do this offseason. It sounds like that's the only thing they're going to do based on what we're hearing.
Yeah, I know.
They really need Bellinger back. I guess, the thing with the Mets, it's interesting because I just don't think, And I know they had a bad collapse last year, which ultimately you have to call the bad year, right?
Yeah,
Even though they started
sure.
out hot. I guess the question is, did David Stearns and Steve Cohen, whatever the combination was, did they have to take a wrecking ball to this team when they were a game away from the World Series a little over a calendar year ago? And they showed a lot of talent, a lot of, I don't want to say promise because they should have been good, but they showed a lot last year up until the end. I just don't know if a wrecking ball to just take it all down and now rebuild when you don't even have starting pitching yet. You got to get starting pitching. You got to replace Pete. You got to replace
Yeah.
Edwin. Was it really necessary to just crush the whole thing and have to rebuild it? I don't think it was.
We'll find out. We're going to find out. It's going to be a very interesting, next 7 weeks before we start getting ready for spring training. I think, I don't know. I'm going to be
There's a lot
waiting
of time.
around.
There's
It's a lot of time.
Yep.
That's the one
A
thing
lot
about
of time
baseball,
to do
right?
stuff.
The
Yeah.
off season, it's forever, which is annoying, but
Yeah.
it does help the teams out.
And everything drips in very slowly.
Yeah.
We had
Exactly.
nothing go on until Schwarber signed, and then you had a couple of things come in. Now we're going to have a couple of weeks of nothing between Christmas and New Year's, and then you're going to wait till like middle of January. Then all of a sudden you're going to get another little flurry. It's not like that in any other sport. You get
Right.
the opening day of free agency in the NFL. Everything's done within like 25 minutes of when that thing opens, and that's not the case with baseball at all.
Before we get to talk about football a little bit, I want to let you guys know, I don't know if you were aware, last night, Charlie and I went to UBS Arena to see the cast of the show Shoresy play against the Islander alumni. First of all, it took us 3 hours to get to UBS Arena.
Ugh, that's a terrible place to try to get to. It's awful.
The Belt Parkway, that's where they should take a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Do the Belt Parkway and start fresh again.
Yeah. With about 17 lanes, build like 3 things on top of it.
Exactly.
You got to do what they did in Boston and just dig down underneath it and get another level of stuff, because it's impossible to go anywhere.
No.
My brother lives in Queens, and anytime I try to get on the Belt Parkway, it's literally parking. It's why they call it the Belt Parkway. So
I'll tell you this. UBS, have you been to UBS Arena, guys?
No, I've never been there.
I have not.
It is spectacular. Mike, you love the Prudential Center. If you went to UBS Arena as you walked in, you would drop to your knees and start crying. It's so beautiful. Every seat is perfect. The rotunda area where they have the food and the drinks and everything in the bathrooms, spectacular. Now, we did spend $65 for 2 chicken sandwiches and 2 big Coke Zeros.
That's anywhere, though. Even here.
Right.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah, that is anywhere. But it was a fun night. But we were actually on the road to get there longer than we were in the arena.
Yeah,
so
it's a mess.
Coming home was a little
mess.
different, but that was. But UBS Arena, if you ever get the opportunity, good Lord, you got to go. And Belmont Park, that whole around the racetrack, they built a village, Belmont Village. It's spectacular. I don't know how any other way to describe it. It was really great.
Yeah,
so,
and it looks awesome. The table games there, right? At the casino there.
Oh, there's a casino there. What is that?
Resorts World.
Resorts World, yeah.
So they're getting. That was one of the ones that got the license for all the tables.
Yes, well, Steve Cohen's probably going to have the same thing.
That's on the other side of Queens, so
they're going to be competing.
Yeah, they'll be competing, but it was great. So if you get the opportunity, definitely try to go there. It was really great. Also, some interesting thing with the Jets, we finally got to see Brady cook. Now, Mike. Now, listen, I'm going to say something. He had 5 drops.
Yeah,
he had 5 drops. And when you look at his throws, he did have the one interception was really bad. And then he had a couple of throws that were really questionable. But I saw, and they even said it was 5 drops. And he would have had that touchdown to Mechie, and Mechie, I don't know what he did. I can't imagine. It was like his hands all of a sudden just became stones, and he couldn't get it. Now, he's not the answer. We all know that.
No.
But I'm interested to see what he does this week. And they did sign your hero, Mike, Adrian Martinez.
I want my boy to play. I need Brady Cook to have like 3 interceptions in the first half, and have my boy Adrian Martinez come out in the second half and lead them to a victory and all this stuff, and just get the Adrian Martinez USFL train going. I want a Fakakta football guy to do well here, so let's do it.
He's not the backup, Mike. He's going to be the third string. They're going to make Fields the backup.
Well, we'll see if he's able. He hasn't practiced yet. Did he practice today, Fields?
Who
I don't
knows?
think he has. I think he's still. I don't think either Fields or Taylor is playing this week.
And Fields
I think you might have.
He's
Martinez.
mad at the team right now, right?
Yeah.
He's pissed off because he doesn't want to be the Wildcat guy. He's sour right now. So maybe
I'm
Martinez
sour right now. I'm sour.
I think we're all sour as Jets fans at
right
this team.
now.
With the way this offense has played this entire season, I think we're really sour, all of us.
Exactly.
Like that Warhead guy on the cover of the Warhead label, with the head exploding with the super sourness. That's how sour I am right now.
Now, Jeff, your squad is now in the number 1 spot, but I think that's going to change because
it's definitely going to change.
I think there's a good chance you guys could win 2 or 3 more games before the season ends.
100%.
Right? You got the Raiders.
Yeah.
You have the Commanders. Who else do you have?
I think you have Dallas as well.
And,
do you have Dallas one more time?
Yeah, who's the other team?
Yeah, I think it's the last game of the season is Dallas.
Yeah, I don't remember the third team. Let me just look. Commanders.
Vikings.
I mean, they can win all those games,
you can win all those
Dallas.
games.
So,
yeah, exactly.
They're not going to have the number 1 pick. There's no chance. They'll win at least 1, probably 2 of those games.
Yeah.
Because think about it. I mean, they have been going toe-to-toe with the best teams in the league pretty much all year. Now, the record doesn't reflect that, but the scores do, right? So I think they're winning pretty handily in New York against Washington this week. I really do. And listen, what I'm watching for is just, I want to see wins. I want Dart to get into the winning mentality. Obviously, we're not playing for the draft pick. We're probably trading out of it. Or
if you're smart, you're trading out of it.
Oh, yeah. It's Joe Shane, so smart doesn't really connect. But, yeah. I mean, that's what they should do. They should also consider, and, however this plays out, I'm thinking crazy, consider trading with Pittsburgh to get Mike Tomlin. I would trade the 5th or 6th or 4th overall pick for him, but that's thinking far ahead.
Yeah.
But I'm actually kind of excited for these next 4 games because this is opportunity time for Jackson Dart to rack up some wins. It's very hard for him to do that against the teams like the Lions and, the Chiefs. He didn't play against the Chiefs, but all the good teams that he played with this just roster that's completely decimated. It's impossible for him to win.
Right.
Now, even with this roster and the bad coaching, he can rack up some wins here and at least build some – I don't think he needs the confidence, but just build that winning feel going into the offseason, into next season when the whole squad is back. So I'm actually excited for the next few games. But the problem is we got Mike Kafka, who can lose to anybody, including just like Dable, right?
Let me ask you this. Let's hypothetically, you have the number 1 pick. Hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay. The Jets are in the 6th spot. And they come to you and they say, we'll swap picks. We'll give you our higher number 2 this year. And we'll give you the highest number 1 we have next year. Would you make that trade?
Highest number 2 this year, highest number 1 next year.
Yep.
I got to see what the Giants have as far as draft picks next year, but I would consider it. I have to see what the draft capital is for the Giants right now. How much, what spots they have.
Mm-hmm.
But I would consider that.
I think that's pretty fair. That would be pretty fair.
Yeah, and I hope Shane negotiates and tries to get more if that was the offer. But
I still don't think Shane's going to be the guy.
If that actually happened, would I be okay with it? Yes, I would.
I don't think Shane's going to be your GM. Jeff.
He might not be.
I don't think he's going to be.
It depends how if they lose. I'll tell you this. And
if they lose Sunday, that's going to be a problem.
That's going to be a very big problem. There's a lot that goes in, especially if that place is as empty as MetLife Stadium was last week for the Dolphins and Jets game. If it's that empty for those games, especially with Jackson Dart playing and a chance to see him do well and win, and you guys end up laying an egg against the Commanders, and the team doesn't look prepared, and the team looks like there's no, if they can't figure out the damn kicker situation. I mean, that's, I mean, he should just be fired just on that, because they haven't had a kicker his entire career here. They've had like 3 games where they've had to go for 2 every single time and go for it on 4th down when there's obvious field goal opportunities, because they don't have an actual kicker who can actually do anything on either gets hurt in warm-ups or whatever. So that alone is a fireable offense on its own.
Yeah. You know what it is? I was going through Shane's draft picks since he's been here, and he's had some good ones. His drafting isn't as bad as people say it is, but the problem is this: his whiffs and his mistakes have been so bad. Like there's no middle ground. He either had a really, really good draft, or it was a catastrophic disaster. And Mike, you nailed it with the kicker. I know we laugh about it, but that's a serious, serious indictment on Joe Shane. How there's no kicker on. We haven't had a kicker ever besides Gano, who's always hurt. So I don't even count him. Is there ever been a team that has the kicking problems the Giants have in the history of the NFL?
And consistently, year after year after year. At one point, you even just got to take one, do what the Bengals did the one year and take the kid in the first round, that McPherson, and actually make sure you have a kicker going forward, because
I know
you just can't have the games come down to that. There were in so many close games that if you had a kicker who can make some field goals or you miss an extra point or whatever that the problems have been, that changes a game when you're going through that. So you can't have that be a consistent problem every single year. I mean, we've gone through it 3 years. There's at least 3 years where the kicker, we don't have one this week, so we're going to have to use the punter, or we're going to have to go for it on 4th and 12 from the 15. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was really evident in the game last year against Washington, where they just didn't kick. They didn't kick at all, even when they should have on extra points and 4th and 6s on the 20-yard line.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this is a problem, but it can be fixed, and it just has not been fixed. It
hasn't.
But I will say this to end it on this with the Giants. I would say, this is my prediction: if the Giants go in the next 4 games, if they go 1-4, I think Shane's gone. I think they have to go 2-2. I really do, because there's 3 games they should win out of the 4. Dallas probably beats them, but the Vikings, the Raiders, and the Commanders, the Giants should beat 2 of those 3 teams. They should, and if they don't, with Jackson Dart playing the way he's playing, then I don't know. I think you got to get rid of him. I want him gone anyway.
Both of those games are home. Commanders are home, and Vikings are home.
Correct.
And you play, and you have to go out to Vegas, but Vegas is not playing for anything. Pete Carroll is probably on his retirement boat now, ready to get out of there, get out of Dodge as quickly as he can. So that isn't certainly a game that you can win. And who knows, if Dallas is in it, they'll certainly going to play hard. If they're not, who knows?
Yeah.
So
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting. What's really not interesting is our football picks. I mean, we stink.
Under 500.
We stink. We just stink. Well,
1 and 2 all across the board, right?
Yeah, I think we all were 1 and 2, which means that after week 14, Jeff is at. Oh no, wait, Jeff. 1 and 2. Okay, so Jeff is 21 and 21. Mike is 20 and 22. And I'm 19, 21 and 1. That's just awful. I mean,
Pathetic.
you could
no pun intended.
you could pick a chimpanzee and
Well,
just have him like throw shit at the wall.
What's bad about it is we're also close to 500 that you can't even fade us and make money because
right.
we won as basically the same amount as we lost. So
Right.
you can't even, if we were really bad, you could be like, all right, we're going to pick the opposite of them and make money.
Yeah.
But we're not even good enough to do that. We're just miserable in the middle there.
We're what do the kids call it? Mid, I think is the phrase.
Very
right?
mid.
We're very mid.
We're very mid. Well, we're going to do this again this week. We're going to try to make some picks. Before we do that, Mike, do you have anything crazy for us, or are we taking a week off?
Oh, I do. I do have something crazy for us. And we have the National Lacrosse League. Both my teams won last week. So we did hit on the Mikey Mush pick. Let me grab the scores here from last week. Where are they? Here they are. Yeah, we had the Saskatchewan Rush win 16-13 against the Calgary whatevers, and we had the Halifax Wolves beat the Oshawa Black Bears 11-2. So that is a double win for Mikey Mush's picks.
Big Mike
for last week.
All right.
This week we are going out to the Winter Olympics are coming up soon. So we have a Mikey Mush pick for the first Grand Prix snow event of the year. Let me grab there it is. So this is over the weekend. So I think this is on Saturday. I'm going to take Henrik Kristoffersen because I do like Chris Kristoffersen, for your 80s fans out there. He is 20-1. He is from Norway. I trust Norway when it comes to skiing.
No question.
On anything. Now, there is a big favorite from Switzerland who is minus 900 to win this thing over the weekend. But I'm going to take Henrik Kristoffersen plus 2,000 to win the Alpine Skiing World Cup that is happening this weekend.
Okay, which means, unfortunately, Henrik doesn't realize this, but there's probably a good chance he's going to break his leg.
There is a chance that could happen, but we will see. I'm hoping that we get a nice win here. So
all right. Okay, so with that in mind, it's time to go to our NFL picks to see how bad we can do this week. Let's see. So Jeff's in first place. I'm in the last place. Do you want me to go first? Be in the last place,
you go first. I'm pulling up my picks now, so you go first. Go ahead.
Okay. I am going to take, let's see, hold on 1 second. I'm just pulling it up quick here. We are going to go to Kansas City. And we are going to take I still call them San Diego, the Los Angeles Chargers, getting 2.5 at Kansas City. I think
it's actually more than that, Teddy.
Is it more than that? I looked at it just now on DraftKings.
I'm on DraftKings right now. It is 5.5 that the Chargers are getting in that game.
I'll take it. Why, is Herbert out?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
He's hurt though, right? So maybe
he played last week.
He did.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to take him. I think Kansas City's cooked. I think they're done. I think you're finally seeing them done. And I think what you're going to start seeing now, which will really help my heart, is to see all the punks that they have start imploding, pointing fingers, doing all that kind of stuff. Because when you're winning, everybody's happy. Now I think it's going to be a little nasty there. I can't wait to see them lose. Give me the Chargers plus 5.5. We're going to go to New Orleans. If you watched Tyler Shugg the last couple of games, he has more than proven that he can be an NFL quarterback. And I would love to have him on my squad. And we've got the Saints getting 2.5 against Carolina. I think the Saints are going to win this outright. And I'm taking the Saints, and I'm going to take the 2.5 as a little bonus. And then I'm going to Dallas. Dallas lost a really tough one against Detroit. They were in that until the referees decided we can't let Detroit lose. It can't happen. So we're going to make some questionable calls. Dallas, I'm sorry, you're going to go down. Well, I'm going to have Dallas giving 5.5 against Minnesota 9. Is that what he calls himself? Mr. 9 or 9? He stinks. And we said that when he was coming out. For him to be drafted that high was a joke. He's going down. So we're going to take the Chargers getting 5.5, the Saints getting 2.5, and Dallas giving 5.5. And let's see if I can actually win 2 games this week. That would be great.
That's the
All right.
goal.
Who wants to go next?
Mike, fire away.
All right. So I am with you, Teddy, on the Chargers. I love that number at plus 5.5. As you said, Chiefs are finished. They are cooked. Stick a fork in them. And this is going to be the start of the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl DVD is us ranting about how they're done. So, book them for the Super Bowl right now. Give me the Chargers plus 5.5 in that game. Give me the Cincinnati Bengals plus 2.5 against the Ravens. I think Cincinnati blew a chance to win that game against Buffalo. I think they are very, very good. I think Joe Burrow is really back to where he should be, and this team is ready to rock and roll. So I think the Ravens are in a tough spot as well. I think, the Lamars and the Mahomes are, now the old guys. They're now there. So give me the Bengals plus 2.5. And then speaking of old guys, I am taking the Indianapolis Colts plus 13.5 at the Seattle Seahawks. That number is gigantic. I don't know if I trust Sam Darnold to really put up a lot of points. They have in the last couple of weeks, but something about Phillip Rivers in this game just makes me feel nostalgic to like mid 2000s and wanting to be go on MySpace or something. I love this and I hope that they win. So give me the Colts plus 13.5. So Bengals plus 2.5, Chargers plus 5.5, Colts plus 13.5. Mikey Mush's picks in week 15 in the National Football League.
By the way, you know how we know we gave up on the season for our picks? We're picking Phillip Rivers for nostalgia reasons. So, which I get, man. I'm actually. Is it confirmed? Is he definitely playing?
I don't know if he's playing, but I don't. It sounds like he is.
Oh man, I may watch that game over anything this week. Just that's amazing.
Well, I will try to watch that game. But I have a different interest. I want to see the Colts lose the rest of the game, so the Jets draft pick is much better.
That's right.
Jeff, you are our leader. Not by much, but you are the leader. What do you got?
So the Chargers one was the easy one, and I got an extra point than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was 4.5, so Chargers plus 5.5 over the Chiefs. Won't even get into it. I know. The exact same reasons you guys gave. That's a lot of points. And the Chiefs, I think, are done. Uncle Ted, like you said, the Chargers, I think, are good. So yeah, give me the Chargers plus 5.5. I'm going to take the Patriots plus 1.5 over the Bills. Drake May, I said this before he was drafted. I thought he was going to be a stud, and it's the beginning stages of his career, but it looks like that's what he's doing. And I'm also sold on Vrabel. I think that guy is a phenomenal coach. He's reminding everybody what kind of coach he is. I know Drake May is great, but I think a lot of it has to do with the culture that Vrabel has built. So I love the Patriots in that game. And I can't believe I'm doing this, but I got to do it because I really love them this week. I'm going the Giants, minus 2.5 over the Commanders. I actually think they whoop the Commanders. I really do. They historically have a lot of success against that team. Even the game we were talking about earlier, when they didn't have a kicker, they lost by like 4 points, right? So I love the Giants in this game. And it's the easiest game we've had on the schedule. And like I said before, the Giants have been going toe-to-toe with the best teams in the league. I think they're better than their record indicates. So, yeah, give me the Giants minus 2.5. Joining you guys with the Chargers plus 5.5 and the Patriots plus 1.5. Jeff's picks.
All right. So let's see how we do this week. Let's see if there's any shakeup at the top. Guys, everybody have a good weekend. People, remember, please like, subscribe, tell your friends about the show. If you listen to us, definitely give us a thumbs up. And if there's anywhere where you can rate us, please give us a high rating. It definitely will help the algorithms. And we've already told you, we don't know what the algorithms mean. So I'm just using the
We'll
word
figure it out at
because,
some point. But
yeah, I
we're
try to
not
use
there
that
yet.
word. I try to use that word once every couple of shows. So, so we'll get that done. Guys, have a great weekend. Looking forward to talking to you at some point over the weekend. Take it easy.